Hey, this is Ray on Sports. I'm your host, Johnny Ray, giving you everything sports. You may agree or you may disagree, but all I do is ask that you listen. Come on in, sit down, and let's take this ride together. All right, welcome in to another episode of Ray on Sports. I am your host, Johnny Ray, here to give you everything sports. Now, today I'm on vacation. I'm actually in the beautiful city of Las Vegas. But as I'm here, I'm still looking at things that are going on in the league, things that are going on in WNBA, things that are going on in the NBA Finals. So we're going to dive into a couple of things this week to find out what's going on. The first thing I'm going to dive into is the WNBA and a couple of players. There's some talk that's been going on with a couple of players. First of all, it's this Katlin Clark thing. Now, with Katlin Clark, the thing with her is that they are talking about leaving her off of the Olympic team, about her not making the team, and she should make the team. What she should bring to the team. I've heard different things about it. I've heard different takes on it. I've heard people say, yeah, she should be on the team just for the marketing aspect of it. But I've also heard from different people who know the game of the WNBA, or who also know basketball, and saying that she doesn't really need to be on the team. And the reason why is because it's about winning. That's the main thing. It's about winning. So they're saying not to put her on the team because they need her to win. They need the team to win. Now, mind you, she's been hyping up the WNBA since she got into the league. She's, doing her thing. Right now, she's averaging 15 points a game, about 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Her field goal percentage is at 36.7. Her three-point percentage is like 32.2. Her free throw percentage is like 89.7, which is pretty good numbers for somebody coming in. But for her to be on the Olympic team, I don't know. I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying she's not ready for that kind of stage. Because the stage they built her in the WNBA, I think it's kind of taking her aback. This is not the college level. This is not what it's just the hometown crowd every day. Every time you come in there, the hometown crowd is on your side. This is more of competition, highly contested competition. Now, I know a couple of games she got some hard fouls done on her. Some say it was because, the league was trying to welcome her in. You're the rookie. Welcome in, rookie. Welcome to this kind of place. This is what we do. This is what we do here. This is how we play. I'm gonna give you a little hard chop to the side. I'm gonna give you a hard this to the side. But that's part of the game. Like some people would argue and say that people are jealous of her status and her ability and her marketing ability. A lot of players in the league are jealous and that, saying, well, when I came in, y'all didn't treat me like that. But there are players right now in the league that are doing just a little bit better than her as far as, stats and, what she brings to the game and, all that stuff. But, you got people's different opinion. That's why it's called an opinion, because everybody has one. But in my personal opinion, I don't think she's ready for the Olympic stage. Now, they did, they put the team together for the Olympics of the women that they said should be on the team, the star players. They did it in the men's league when they had the dream team. The dream team with Jordan and with Pippen and with Barkley and with Magic, that team right there, that was considered the dream team. That was in 1992. Now, some people compared Jordan's status back then to what Caitlin's doing right now, but at that time in '92, Jordan was killing it in the league. Jordan was killing it. He was killing. I think he had already made it to the finals. He was averaging like 32 points a game in that time. So for him not to be on the team, that would have been a disgrace. Now, they did put one college player on there, which was Christian Laettner. And the reason why they put him on there, that was just, just to have a college. He was doing his thing in college. Christian Laettner, if you don't know, he played for Duke University. He starred there. He was collegiate player of the year. I believe they won a championship with him. But they put him on the team just because of what he was and what his potential was. I put it like that. They put him on the team because they thought of his potential and what he would bring to the game. But come to find out, when he got on the team, he really didn't get any playing time. Because between Magic, Jordan, Bird, Pippen, Barkley, David Robinson, I believe he was one of the ones on the team. It was a lot going on there, and how can you get some minutes with that? With that kind of roster. I'm pulling up. Let me remember the roster for the NBA team. The head coach was Chuck Daly. That was the coach. The players in that team were Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, John Stockton and Karl Malone, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, Chris Mullin, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, I'm sorry. And then they chose Christian Laettner over Shaquille O'Neal. Now, you might say, why they choose Christian Laettner over Shaquille O'Neal? At that time, Shaq was still at LSU. So in 1992, he hadn't gotten to the NBA yet. But they picked Laettner over him, saying that Laettner was a better player. Come to find out, the history of Shaq. You know what he turned out to be. I think Shaq would have been dominant on that team. Especially in the post, especially down in the post. But they had David Robinson down there in the post. They had Barkley down there. They had Ewing. So they had the post covered. So so that's what they compared Katlin Clark to. Was, oh well, she was like a Jordan. She could have been like Jordan for that team. No, because like I said, Jordan had stats in 1992. Jordan was killing the league in 1992. So at that time, and if you don't know the history of the Olympic team, at that time the U.S. was getting killed in the Olympics every year. The basketball team was getting killed by the overseas teams. And the reason why is because they put a bunch of college players out there against the world. And what we found out was that the world teams had players on there that had been playing all that time. They played like pros. They had like pro teams. So when the USA team went out there, they would get killed because these guys from the world teams, teams like Russia, Germany, Japan, all those places. Their players played 24/7 NBA play. I mean, not NBA. I'm sorry, basketball in general. So they knew that, and so the NBA, the U.S. Olympic team said, we got to do something about this. They put their best out there. We need to put our best out there. So it was put together. Let me see. It was put together on April 7th of 1989. They found out that. They voted on it, and the FIBA European Championship delegates voted by 56-13 to allow professional basketball players to participate in international events, including the World Cup and the Olympics. And then that decision led to professional players, especially ones in the NBA, to dominate that sport. So that's where it was done. And from there, they just said, you know what? Let's put some players out there. Let's win this thing. Because we are as Americans, we are very proud. And we was like, no, we gotta do better than that. So they put that team out there, and each game they beat them by an average of 44 points each game. Each game they played. There was some back and forth going on, but between certain players. Like I think Jordan had a thing with the Croatia team because they had a guy named Tony Kukoc on that team, and he was the player that the Bulls picked to come to their team. And I guess the talk was going around that he was better than Jordan. And Jordan said, oh, really? Let me show him what I got. So I remember some of the stories that some of the players were telling. I've seen on different things where they said, Jordan said, give me Kukoc. Let me take him. And they was like, why you got to take? Let me just take him. Let me take him. Let me show him what we do here. So they put Jordan on Kukoc, and he killed him. I think Kukoc had the worst game of his career against Jordan. But I digress. But that's what the comparison was between that team there and the women's team right now, and why they wanted Katlin Clark on it. Now the players on the team right now that they've picked for the women's team. Let me see. Those players are Nafisa Collier from the Minnesota Lynx, Kalia Copper from Phoenix Mercury, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Sabrina Aneski, Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Alyssa Thomas, Asia Wilson, and Jackie Young. Now, three of them are on the same team. Asia, Jackie, and Kelsey play for the Las Vegas Aces. I'm sorry, and Chelsea Gray, they all play for the Las Vegas Aces. And I believe they were the last year's WNBA winners. So they put that team together to win. And people were still saying about why Katlin wasn't on it, why Katlin wasn't on it, why couldn't we put Katlin on the team? Well, Katlin, like I said, I'm nothing against the lady, nothing against the way she plays, nothing like that, but they want to win, and that's their dream team that they put together. And I think the commissioner from the elected team said we put together a competitive team. It's nothing against Katlin, but we wanted to win. That's what her bottom line was. She said a whole bunch of other stuff, but the bottom line was we need to win. We need to put the best team out there to win the Olympics. And I believe this will be historic if the women's Olympic basketball team wins this time. It'll be historic because it'll be the first time I think that an Olympic team has won that many games. So that was that. I want to say, Caitlin, you're gonna have your time. Give it another year. You'll have your time. You're getting better at your sport. You're learning it. Some of the quotes that she said that she had was that she's using this as fuel and fire for the next year, and that's great. I love it. That's great. If you take it that way, I love it. 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 If that's what you need to fuel you, girl, go ahead and do it. That'll fuel you. That'll fuel your fire. But for you to be, for people to say, oh, she need to be on the team because of the marketing standpoint of it about, getting the game out there. The game is already getting big. WNBA is already getting big. You got people out there like I said, Asia Wilson. She's out there killing it. Angela Reese is averaging a double-double every time she steps on the court. So we don't, Caitlin, you have your time to shine. Like I said, Angel Reese is, she's a rookie too. She didn't say anything about not making the team. She ain't made no thing about. She understood. Right now, she's averaging 12 points a game, 12 points a game, and 10 rebounds per game. She's averaging a double each game. And I believe the way she's gonna if she keeps this up for the rest of the season, she'll be the top rookie ever in history to average a double in her first season. But do they say anything about her? No, they do not. Do they say anything about how she plays? No, they do not. It's all about Katlin. Every time Katlin Clark's on there, and I know it sounds like I'm hating on her, but I'm not. I just want to give equal opportunity to everybody in the room. You don't invite everybody to the room and just focus on one person. You give everybody a piece of the pie, everybody a slice, everybody a chance to speak. You don't invite everybody to the gig or to the dinner and then feed one person. How do you think other people gonna feel when they get to the dinner? Like, wait a minute, you invited me too, but all y'all want to do is serve her. Let me show you what I can do. But I love Angel Reese's game. I love the way she plays. I love her attitude. She's 6'3", 165. She was out of LSU. She was the seventh pick in the first round of the NBA draft, and she was drafted to the Chicago Sky. So she's doing her thing out there. I can't say nothing bad about her. I don't know how their record is as far as the Chicago Sky's record, but I know she's doing her thing. Let me see their record. Chicago Sky's record now is 4-8, which is okay. I'm trying to be a hometown favorite. I'm a Sparks fan, a Los Angeles Sparks fan. Their record is 4-9. They're kind of struggling. I have been watching a couple of games, trying to, get the nuances of the WNBA. Those girls are out there balling. I think I watched a couple of games. I watched the Las Vegas Ace game. Those girls out there balling, man. The guys do their thing, but the girls are out there balling. They're doing their thing out there. So I love it. I love the game. I love the way they play. I love everything about it. There's this girl, Jaquel Jones, who plays for the New York Liberty. She scored 34 points the other night. I think she had like 7 threes. against the Las Vegas Aces. She's doing her thing out there. For the Aces, like I was telling you about Asia Wilson, this girl is averaging 28 points a game. Did you hear me? This girl is averaging 28 points a game. Killing it. Killing it. And her field goal percentage, 51.4% from the field. Come on now. Listen to them stats. Listen to them stats. Girl's out there killing it. She's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. She's doing her thing. But like I said, the game, she's averaging 11 rebounds a game. She's averaging 2.6 blocks a game. She's doing her thing. So now, of course, the talk will come around about who should be the rookie of the year already. All that's starting already in the WNBA. They're saying that Katlin Clark is leading the rookie of the year running. She's like I said, she's averaging 15.6 points per game, which is second in the NBA. She ranks second in the NBA with total 3 points made at 37th, and she's fourth with six assists per game. She's shooting. I've already gave you those stats, but Angel Reese is the only rookie in the top 5 with 2 major statistical categories: points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks per game. Her 9.6 rebounds per game and 1.9 steals per game ranked 5th in the league, put Reese in the elite company along the MVP candidates of Asia Wilson, Nafisa Collier, I'm probably butchering these names, Alyssa Thomas, and Enrique Ngwale, I think that's her name. So Angel Reese is killing it, But like I said, the stats are I know what they're pushing for. Like they're pushing for Katlin to be the go-to person. They're pushing for her to be the face of the league. All that. I got that. I understand that. But give other people chances. I don't want Katlin to be one of those people that, number one in the draft and they come into the league and then what happens? They burn out. They end up burning out because of the pressure. We've seen it happen in the NBA. There's a lot of number one picks in the NBA that just burn out, from just too much hype on them, too much pressure, too much pressure put them on as a rookie. Like, they're coming out of college, number one pick. Everybody's asking for them to step their game up and step they prowess up and, be who they supposed to be. Did I say prowess? Prowess ain't even a word. I just said step they prowess up. That ain't even a word, man. I'm just making up stuff as I go. But yeah, that's my take. The WNBA, they're pretty good. They're good. The players are real good. I've been watching a couple of games. I'm getting into it. I love it. I love the way the games are going. So I hope that they're doing. I hope they keep doing what they're doing. These girls doing what they're doing. These young ladies doing what they're doing. I'm rooting for them because I love competition. I love watching good games. Not whether it's male or female. I love watching a good game. And like I said, I watched one of the games the other day, and they was going back and forth, man. They was like killing it, back and forth. I think it was the Aces against the Liberty, and they were going back and forth. Asia was putting a show on. I know the players, but I didn't know their names, and I start seeing their faces, and I'm like, oh, that's her. Oh, that's Kelsey Blum. Oh, that's that person. Oh, that's this person. Oh, okay, that's what Asia really looks like. Okay, so now I got a mental picture of what they look like, but they doing their thing out there. So, give me your thoughts on it. You can always email me at rayonsports 0905 @gmail.com. Anytime you have a question, comment, concerns about my broadcast, my podcast, my programming, hit me up. Give me some questions. Give me some comments back. I love to hear it. I love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you guys, listening to me. And if you don't know, I'm ranked. I got an email, which is crazy. I got an email that said I'm ranked 139th of all basketball sports podcasts on Apple Podcasts. For me, that's huge. I give God all the glory for that because without Him, I couldn't do this. And I thank Him for allowing me to have the mindset to do this. I also thank my wife for pushing me to do this podcast, for pushing me to talk about things I love to talk about, things I love, which is sports. I love talking about sports. So thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for for pushing me up this. This is Johnny Ray from Ray on Sports. Now let's move over to the NBA Finals. Yes. Right now, Boston has a 3-1 lead in the finals. Celtics won Game 1, 107-89 over the Mavs. They won Game 1 and 2 at home. They went to Dallas and won Game 3. Now, Game 4, which I kind of predicted was going to happen yesterday, didn't go Celtics' way. I knew the Mavs would come out and do what they had to do. I knew they wasn't just going to go down like that. Everybody counted them out and said, oh, yeah, Mavs are done. When you say that, when a team's down 3-0 and you say they're done, they usually come out that next game and put it on them. Now, in that game, let's see, Luka had 29 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Kyrie had 21 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds while playing 31 minutes a game. They didn't have really that much supporting cast. I think Tim Hardaway came in and did some stuff, but I think the game was, they lost. I think the margin was like almost 20-something points that they lost by. But I'm looking at the stats, and I'm thinking the majority of these points came at like what they call garbage time, where they let people come in and just play and do their thing. So Tim Hardaway came in and scored 15 points in 12 minutes, but did he really score 15 points? I'll put it like this. Did he really score 15 points in 12 minutes, or was it garbage time and they just let him jack it up because the game was already out of hand? Dante Exum, 10 points in 14 minutes. Derek Lively, their center, 12 rebounds, 11 points. That was pretty good. Daniel Gafford had 7. P.J. Washington had 6. Derek Jones Jr. had 5. So, like I said, it wasn't really. Was it more of the Celtics not playing well, or the Dallas Mavericks playing that good? I would say the first part. I think it was more of the Celtics not playing good. I think they probably got comfortable with where they were. They probably said, nah. I'm not saying they did say this, but they probably, started playing good, and then Dallas just had to put it on them. And after a while, the coach was like, you know what? We don't have it tonight. Let's not try to force anything that's not there. Because I could tell by the box scores that they really didn't have it tonight. Jason Tatum, 15 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Jaylen Brown, 10 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Al Horford, 3 points. Derek White, 6. Drew Holiday, 10. That's they starting starting lineup. So you had not even that much from your starters. So that's why I know that it was more of the Mavs. It was more of the Mavs. The Celtics not playing well than of the Mavs not really winning the game. I give credit to them. They won the game. That's all that matters. You got the W. That's what matters. But I can tell by quarter. So the first quarter, Dallas came out there, and in the first quarter, it was 31-24. That second quarter is what blew it out. Dallas scored 27 points in the second quarter to Boston's 14. So that pretty much blew the game out the water right there. Because the rest of the other 2 quarters looked like they was pretty like maybe 6 points each, between the third and fourth quarter. Average of maybe 6 or 7 points that the score was at the end of each quarter. So that tells me right there that second quarter is when Dallas blew it out the water. And I think Jason Tatum had like 3 fouls, so he was in the game. So he really didn't have effect on the game. They was already without their center, but he wasn't scheduled to play anyway. But they knew what they needed to do, and Dallas knew Dallas was fighting for their life. It was an elimination game for them. They was fighting for their life. So I'm sure that Luka went out there and tried to do the best he could. He didn't, like I said, he didn't have that many assists, so it wasn't him guiding, winning the game. He only had 5 assists. So that's telling me right there that there's more of the Celtics not making shots than the Mavericks making shots. The field goal percentage for the game was Dallas was 50.5%. It was 46 of 91 from the field. Celtics was 29 of 80. That tell you right there, 36%. 29 of 80, that means that the ball wasn't going in the hole. 3-point percentage, Dallas was at 40.5%. Celtics were at 34.1%. Free throw percentage, that's a trying stat. Celtics were 12 of 13 for 92%. Dallas was 15 of 22, so they were getting to the free throw line, 68%. Points in the paint, this is the big one right here. Dallas had 60. Did I say it again? 60 points in the paint. Now, the Celtics' total score was 84. So for Dallas to have 60 points in the paint, that means that, the Celtics wasn't playing good defense. Maybe their assignments wasn't there. Maybe, a lot of things could have happened. But for me, I don't think really that the Celtics actually played that. I mean, the Mavs played that well. I think the Celtics played that bad, if that makes sense to you. There are times when a team, could be a dominant team, can have an off night. And that team that they play that night could just, catch them that night and catch them off guard and, play to their, whatever their status is. So I think that's what happened tonight, is that the Celtics really didn't give it their all. I'm not saying they did. Let me back it up, because I don't want nobody getting me about that. They didn't really give it their all, but they just I didn't really see the game. I saw the highlights of the game, and I could tell that Dallas just wanted it more because they knew it was an elimination game. And the Celtics kind of, you can say it. I mean, you can see it and say it that some teams, when they know they got another game coming and they can feel the atmosphere of the game switching, they'll be like, you know what? Let's kind of not put it all in there. Let's play hard, but we know we don't have a chance of winning. Let's most games, you have two teams. One team will have the momentum, and they'll be going up and down the court. They'll be doing their thing, and then the other team will be like, you know what? We just don't have the momentum tonight. One of my favorite, I'm a Laker fan. I want to listen to the broadcast of life, and it's a guy by the name of Stu Lance. Wonderful gentleman. I've met him a couple of times at the Laker games. I've took pictures with him and everything like that. Wonderful guy. He does Lakers play by a color commentator. And he used to always say, Mr. Mo is never truly dedicated to one team. He's talking about momentum. He calls him Mr. Mo. He said Mr. Mo can change jerseys at any time. And I think Mr. Mo put on a Mavericks jersey and never took it off. He tried to take it off and put on a Celtics jersey, but he figured out, I'm going to keep this Mavs jersey on. So that's what there was. It was more momentum. It was more desperation from Dallas, of them saying we got to win or we're going home. Let's give it our all. Let's throw it all on the floor, and that's what they did. They did it, and I think the Celtics kind of realized that about the third quarter. Realized we ain't coming back. I think they were down by 25 or maybe 30 points by third quarter, and I think they knew, we ain't coming back from this. So probably from the highlights I saw, beginning of the fourth quarter, they already had the scrubs in there. When you see a coach put in scrubs in a game, that tell you that he gave up right there. He's like, when they put the scrubs in. Now, sometimes I've seen coaches switch players out, like your star player out, and put in reserves to try to get a spark out the team. If the team starts off flat and starts playing flat, then the coach will take a quick time out and start subbing players out and say, wait a minute, you ain't giving it to me. Let me put this guy in here and see what he got. And sometimes the reserves will play hard and get you back in the game. And then they'll put the stars back in the game. But this one wasn't that game. This was just, Coach Mazzulla saying, Joe Mazzulla saying, I know we ain't got this game. Let's just go ahead and just, give it throw in the proverbial towel. And let's just live to fight another day. Kristaps Porzingis did not play. He tried to get out there and play, but the doctors knew at the best interest that it wasn't good for him to get out there. He has this crazy injury that they have for him that's keeping him from playing. I forgot the name of the injury. What is the name of that injury? Oh, my God. I can't think of it offhand, but he has this crazy, crazy, crazy injury that's keeping him from playing. Kristaps Porzingis. And it won't, it's a major injury, but they will not let him play unless he's 100%. And I got it. It makes sense. The injury that he has is something that nothing to play with. I looked at the injury. I've heard it, a couple of news guys, of sportscasters, talk about the injury, and they're saying that he would only play if it's a very specific situation. That's what everybody was saying. The Celtics coach said before Game 4 that he would only play if it's a very, very specific situation, which means that if they would had a chance to win, he would have put him in the game. But I think he knew that, the way they were playing, why would I risk him? You know, his injury, God, what is that thing called? I don't know, but it's something with his knee. And I was trying to think of the medical term for it, but I'm not trying to even think of that term because I don't know what it's called. But he he did not play, and I don't think he should play. You know, he didn't need to play. It wasn't good for him to play. It is called a medical retina. See, I'm gonna mess it up. Media retina coma tear. It's some injury of the knee and the leg, but it's a very rare injury that I've never heard of before. But it's yeah, they said he suffered a torn median, whatever that thing is, was allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in his left leg. It says a very rare injury, and it's not something that he could just come right back from. And he said it's in his ankle and knee. There's one doctor, Dr. Pontney. He's John Pontney. He's from South Coast Health. He says it sounds like Porzinga's injury was called the medial. You know what I said. I'm not gonna say it again. Of his ankle is essentially what it is. It's a very thick band-like structure that helps tether the tendons of the ankle in place and enables them to do their job. So when Porzinga's tore this in his ankle, essentially what happens is one of those tendons is allowed now to shift out of place and to dislocate. And he also goes on to say, and so this can be quite painful, and the function of this special tendon is to be able to for the plantar flex of the foot to go the flex to the foot or to go up onto the toes. So for a 7'3" center, this can be very challenging, especially when he's trying to jump. So there you have it right there. That from a doctor, one of the doctors from Dr. Pontney, John Pontney of South Coast Health. That's what he described it as. So for like I said, for Porzingis to be that tall and have that injury, the Celtics chose not to play him, which was the right call. Why risk an injury like that? I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm thinking an injury like that, if he played on it and it got worse, it would probably end his career. And for him to be that tall, that was something that the doctor said, and the Celtics training staff and the medical staff said, no, it's not good for us to put him out there with that kind of injury. We can go on. We can win without him. And then, he can have a whole offseason of rehab and maybe be ready for the start of training camp next season. So that's what that was. But like I said, Dallas, they put their show on. They put it on a little bit, but I believe I could still take Boston. I think Boston's going to win it. I think they're going to pull it out in Game 5, if not Game 5. If Dallas so happens to win a couple more games, it'll be a Game 7, and I think Boston will take it. I'm a diehard Laker fan. Oh, my God, listen to this. I am a diehard, did I say that again? Diehard Laker fan. And for me to be rooting for Boston to win, see, if you don't know sports like that, if you don't know basketball like that, Boston winning will give them the 18 championships. That's one more than the Lakers. We have 17, they have 17. They win, they're going to have 18. All the Boston fans will hold it over our head till the Lakers win another championship. In history of the NBA, these are the two storied franchises in the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics. Back in the 80s, they had battles. Back in the 70s, they had battles. In the 90s, they had battles. In the 2000s, they had battles. So for them to win, that's for all Laker fans out there, where I'm coming from. That's a shot to our heart. But I am rooting for Jason Tatum. I love his mentality. I love his demeanor to the game. His idol was Kobe Bryant. So he has that Mamba mentality, and he knows what it takes to win. But he also knows, he knows what it takes to win. So he knows that he doesn't have to be the top scorer in the game to win the game. To be a star in the game, especially in the NBA, you don't have to score the most points in the game. Listen to me, young people. You don't have to score the most points in the game. You have to be effective in the game, whether it's scoring, whether it's rebounding, whether it's assisting, whether it's defense. You got to you got to possess those skills to be that star player. You got to have a mind for the game. You got to have a mindset to know the X's and O's of the game. Yeah, you're the star of the game. Yeah, they come to you to win the game, but winning the game doesn't mean just scoring a lot of points. Winning the game could be given out like Magic did. Magic was the assist leader. He wasn't the top scorer on the Lakers team, but his assists and his navigation of the floor made him the star of that team because he put people in places where they needed to go, and that's what won the championships for them. Jordan, same thing. Jordan, if you look at some of the championships that Jordan won, yeah, Jordan took some good shots, but one of the championships was Steve Kerr. And if you know anything about that, there's a clip out there where Steve Kerr is on the bench talking to Michael. Said, "Michael, if you give me the ball, I'm be open and I'm gonna make it." And Michael looked at him and said, "Okay." And they ran the play, get a ball to Michael. Michael dribbled. I think he got a double team. He kicked it over to Kerr, and Kerr hit the winning shot, the three, to win the game. That's winning basketball. That's a superstar trusting his teammates to win the game. If your teammate comes to you and says, "Hey man, if I'm open, I'm gonna make it," you kick the ball up. You don't say, "Well, no, I don't trust him. I'm gonna try to win it myself," because winning and losing goes to you. Whether you win or whether you lose, they're gonna look at you. You're the star of the team. You didn't do that well. For every NBA playoff game this season, they had a star player, and they said, "Well, that person didn't play well." Minnesota-Dallas series, Anthony Edwards didn't play that well. Anthony Edwards this. Anthony Edwards, when he was winning, it was like, "Oh, he's got it. He's the star of the team." Da 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 da. But when they lost, same thing. Well, Anthony didn't do this. Anthony didn't do that. Same thing with any other team. With I think it was Indiana. Halliburton got hurt. But the thing was Tyrese Halliburton. When it was Knicks was in it, when Knicks players went in, their star player, God, the names are just not coming to me right now. But the thing was they win with him and they lose with him. So when he didn't win, of course they said, "Oh, what happened? Jalen Brunson, that's what it was, New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson, they won with Jalen and they lost with Jalen." So the thing was, it wasn't the team lost, it was Jalen Brunson's loss. He's part of the Knicks and they lost. Yeah, he lost, but he had some people with him too. So Jalen tried to do everything he could. I give him credit. The brother is outstanding. I'm sure he's going to be a superstar in this league for years and years and years to come. He'll probably be one of the faces of the league for years and years to come. But just that time, he didn't have it, against the Knicks. Against the Pacers. Against the Pacers. So he'll be back. But that's the thing I'm telling you about star players. You got to know when to score and when to shoot, when to assist, when to rebound, when to play defense. And for Jason Tatum, which I started from, I don't know how I got this tangent about other players, but for Jason Tatum, that's what he's doing. He's not averaging the most points per game in the finals. What he's doing is making sure that his team is in the best position to win. And everybody is saying that Jaylen Brown might get the MVP because of the way he's playing. And you know what? I agree with that. Because Jaylen Brown has been balling. Jaylen Brown has been balling out of control. He is doing his thing. So I give it to him. I think he will. I think he will do it. I don't see no other. I don't think that they could give it to Jason. The NBA, the Finals MVP. They could, but I don't think they will. I think Jalen deserves it because Jalen's been balling, and he did what he needed to do. So, I don't know. So Jason Tatum is averaging 24.7 points per game. Jalen's right behind him with 24.1 per game during these playoffs. It can go either way. Some games Jalen has it, some games Jason has it, but most of the time Jalen's been having it. Jalen won they got a new trophy for the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals, and he won that trophy. But Jason didn't have any hatred towards it, no haterade towards it. He loved it. He's like, that's my guy, that's my dude, that's who I'm rolling with, that's my dog. And they've learned to play together. They were in the finals 2 years ago against the Warriors, and they lost. And Jason didn't do well, and all the pressure came on him. Well, Jason, it's your team. You should have did it. But I think Jason and Jalen got together and said, look here, bro. I can't win without you, and you can't win without me. Let's make this happen. And so this season they came in there with that mentality, and they went on a tear this year. And now they're in the final NBA Finals, about to win the ring, and I think they can do it. So I love it. I love the game. I love the NBA. I love the finals. This is all for Ray on Sports this week. I don't have my boy Big Mike with me this week. I'm doing a solo bowler this week because, like I said, I'm on vacation in Vegas, sucking up this 110 sun. Good Lord, it's hot out here. But I love it. I love it. I'm out here for a bowling league, bowling tournament. I do bowl. That's one of my passions is bowling. I'm not. I'm okay. I average like maybe a 155, 160 in my bowling, but I enjoy it. It's fun, and every time at the end of our seasons or whatever that we have, we come to Vegas for our tournament, the big tournament they have out here, which is awesome. It's huge. And I have fun with it. It's fun bowling. It's fun coming out to Vegas, getting a free room on them, But I enjoy it. I love it. I love it. I love it to death. So that's it for Ray on Sports. Thank you guys for listening to this next episode of Ray on Sports. Please subscribe to the podcast. I'm on Apple Podcasts. I'm on Spotify. I'm on YouTube. Yes, I even have a YouTube channel, that I have my podcast on there. I'm also on Buzzsprout. I'm asking you to please, subscribe to it, listen to it, listen for new updates, new episodes coming every week regarding the NBA, regarding everything sports. I talk everything sports. I talk mostly NBA and NFL, but I can squeeze some other sports in there. But that's my take for this week. Thank you guys for listening. Take care, and God